Hey now, it's Sharon. I'm back to share another idea on how to reform the police. If you're new to the channel, I'm a retired detective. I worked for 20 years for Southeastern City in the US, and I was also in the military. I'm sharing my experiences along with my perspective and opinions on how to reform the police based on the things that I've shared through being ostracized and retaliated against for blowing the whistle, and just the daily struggles, if you will, that I went through while policing. I share those things in hopes of creating a pause, if you will, in thought on what the police need, a pause in just giving thought and consideration to different ideas and suggestions. So with that being said, I'm going to share. Remember last week I talked about the Fusion Center and it being national. So all officers are registered there and we can actually follow the profile of an officer who switches and bounces from place to place to place and things like that. I also want to share this idea. It's in effect, but it's in pieces, if I remember correctly. When I ran somebody, meaning if I was doing an investigation, there was one database that I could go to where it would check anything from phone records to labor history and things like that. And so, like I said, it was already in effect. I had to sign my name and date and time of when I ran that individual by name and date of birth, and I had to present a case number in a book. Who knows where that book is? It's probably maybe archived somewhere. Who knows? But the book can disappear. You understand what I'm saying? And so it needs to be digital, and it needs to go to the Fusion Center that I mentioned last week about the national database. And before it goes to the Fusion Center, I would say checks and balances in place. Put somebody in charge of looking at that particular database, who's running what date and time, and match it up to the case number that they placed as a reason, or whatever the case number is for the investigation. Check that and check against it. And also pull the history of that officer running anything on that database. Because sometimes we forget to log it. Sometimes it's deliberate in forgetting. But you should be able to go to that system, pull up everything the officer ran for, just say, the last 3 months, 4 months, or 6 months, match it up with the case number, and if it's good, send it in to the Fusion Center. If you find an issue, then you investigate. And of course, you let the Fusion Center know that you're investigating. And like I said, checks and balances in place. Make sure the investigation is completed within 180 days. I'm just giving ideas. But things like that need to be in place and sent to the national database where there are 10 major cities that sit as a council and govern that Fusion Center. I think that'll help with some of the corruption we see and some of the weird things you see officers doing about following folks and getting to people's neighborhoods and things like that. But yeah, I wanted to share that, create a Fusion Center national, mentioned last week, and then within the department itself, run the actual officer or investigator or detective who is running these people, pull all that up, check against the case numbers that they're saying they're running it for, because the truth is some officers do run maybe ex-wives or ex-husbands, or trying to find a brother or a sister, or trying to find somebody. And of course, there are different punishments for different things. But I just want to add that little bit. It needs to be on a national level. I'll think of something. I'll share another idea next week. I'll have to keep it nice, short, and sweet. If you're interested, take a look at our online store. The link is in the description. And I created some notebooks, things like that. Our store motto is on all our t-shirts. And the motto is, it doesn't matter what the haters say about me. They can't convince Jesus. And some people know him as Yeshua or Yahusha. So take a look at the stuff. And always remember, you don't necessarily have to go through a thing to learn from it. Talk to you guys later. Bye.